bathroom, but now I'm back and the call is starting. Okay, welcome to the GIVeconomy call. I hope you guys can coordinate the super modular thing in DMs right now. We got stuff on the agenda, unless you should go on the agenda, but my intentions for the call are to get the Fox XDI region farm extension out the door, as well as all these other things that are here, optimism donations, Giveth Pro, Chainvine, Instant Boost, Give Power Awards. A lot of these things have just small things in them. I hope we can get through most of the development stuff in like the first 30 minutes and then spend the last 30 minutes waxing philosophically about stuff we didn't get to wax philosophically about yesterday in the QF call. So yeah, that's me. And I'm not distracted anymore. And I will pass it on to Amin.
Oh, thank you. I don't have I don't have any distraction. I just want to be like updated and know how much. What's the priority? I have a priority, which is meshed of us. Which is an API, and after that, I don't know what to do. That's it. I pass it to Mitch.
Hey there. Yeah, I'm curious talking about Giveth Pro, and I'd just like to listen in and hear about all the optimism things, and I guess quadratic funding, since that's going to be part of Giveth Pro, I think. So that's all I got, and I'll pass it on to Mo.
Hey everyone, sorry for the noise here. I'm here just to listen and see what we are doing in the GIVeconomy. Also, if you need, I can just give you a demo about the Chainvine and my distraction, the really loud crowd and noise here. I pass it to Amin. Oh no, Amin, Lance. Cherik maybe.
Thank you. Hello, guys. My intention is let's check the agenda. I'm totally on the agenda, yeah, and I'm not distracted. Yeah, I pass it to Griff.
GM. Yeah, I'm just here to follow the latest and always excited to see what's going on in QF. I'll throw it over to Franco.
Thank you, Griff. My intentions for the goal is just going to be streaming, listening in, and maybe I have some questions about some things for documentation. And distractions is that I'm working on documentation. And I'll pass it over to Jake the Snake. Welcome back, Jake.
Yeah. Thanks, Franco. I've just missed out on everybody here, so that's my intentions for the call. Good to see all of your faces. Distractions, all of your faces, and I will pass it on to Mary J.
Thank you, Jake. My intention for this call is to know more about the new design of Chainvine and the last updates of QF, and I'm not distracted. I'll pass it to Mohammed.
Thank you. Hey guys, my intention is to stay synced with the team, and I have no distraction. I pass it back to you, Lauren. No, Giant King. I pass it to Giant.
Almost forgotten. GM. I like to be the salamander at the wall, listening in, distractions at the office, general stuff. And I'm really excited about the regen farm for the Fox next time. But anyway, I think I'm the last one.
Yeah, amazing. You guys always do such a good job of passing it. It's so cool. I maybe you look at the notes or something, but you're very good. You're very good. Cool. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the Fox XDI regen farm, and Cherik was asking about like when the start time is and stuff, and I just wanted to like I added, like, you guys are all in the chat for the coordination on it. I think the best strategy is like just to get this out as soon as possible, like as soon as they send us the funds and they like do the assign the rewards to the Unipool and we can set up the notify reward bot, then the rewards can start. And I feel like we can just do it in a few days. It's like we just need to unarchive the farm card and that's it. Make an announcement. So what I wanted to know is, like, basically if Amin or Mohammed, if you guys have time to set up the notify reward bot sometime like in the next couple of days. And yeah, so we'll start there.
Yeah, is the start date defined on
No, we didn't define it. Basically, I feel like we can make it countdown start on, like, make the countdown start on Monday and the start date on Tuesday. Because, like, we've had, like, it's like our notify rewards are, like, always on Tuesday for Give Power and stuff like that. Maybe that's nice. It gives us a few days to set it up. Because Willie's going to need to do all of the transactions, basically, and Cat heard multi-sig signers, and maybe that will take a couple of days. Those are my thoughts.
and do you know how long it will be distributed and what's the distribution? It's even or no?
Yeah.
You should pay one to
Yeah.
okay, it's even.
So it's going to be even and 180 days. So it's the same as basically previous. 6 months, 180 days. Rewards go out evenly, and they basically just want to start as soon as we can. So, yeah. Do you like, is it hard to adjust the start time? Like when you're setting up the notify reward bot? Because basically it's like, let's start it as soon as we can, but as soon as we can depends on Willie and the Shapeshift multi-sig to send the money in different places and, you know, assign the rewards.
No, it's not hard to adjust the time. Just you should know it, the duration, the time, and the total reward. So the distribution is in 2 weeks. So 100 days doesn't fit to in 7 days, in 14 days. Maybe if it be 26 weeks.
26 weeks, yeah, sounds good. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 26. And what's that? 26 times 7? 182? Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's just basically like 6 months. So.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, you looked at, like, I mean, this is the Fox token distro. I took it from the deployment Notion doc, or the Fox XDI Notion doc. And then this is like the Unipool. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're right, but you double checked, right?
Yeah, I did, and updated the chat, group chat. That they are fine.
Great. And that's all we have to do, right? That I wrote in the chat?
Yeah.
I didn't miss
Yeah,
anything?
nope.
Great.
That's good.
And I think Willie already probably knows how to do the assign, right?
Yeah, I will do.
Okay, great. Nice.
Just the start time. Just the start time. Tell me the start time. The exact start time.
Yeah. Okay. I'll okay, let's see. I'll bug him in the chat about that, basically. Start time, we need it exactly. Amazing. Great. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about was optimism donations. So I guess I just wanted to check in on this because I know we deployed the Unipool, or no, the token distro on optimism Gorley. So it's like from the smart contract side, we're basically like all set up with this. We just need design, right?
Sorry, what kind of design do you need?
I made a spec doc. I just made this yesterday, like last night. So it's pretty small stuff. Basically, we need to like add optimism chain to give back. So there's going to be like a toggle optimism gnosis. Add something.
Okay, can you send me the link to the issue, please, Dorian?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
I do that. It's right here. I think I assigned you actually, but I'll send it to you right now.
Oh, okay, I can find it then.
I also just sent
thanks.
it to you. Your DMs,
Thanks.
yeah. Cool. and then everything else is set up, right? Mitch, token distro, optimism.
It's only on staging right now, so it needs to be tested.
Okay. What does that require? Do we need some support from Mary Jeff, or?
Well, you need a way to connect to it first on the DApp, before you can test it.
Okay. All right. So
if there's a design, then you can put it on staging, then we can hook it up to the contracts deployed on Optimism Goerli, and then somebody can test it, and then we can deploy to production Optimism.
okay. So then design is the blocker here. I know you have a lot of things on your plate, Mo, but have a look at this like notion that I made. The changes will be really pretty small, so you can probably do it in like an hour. Thank you. Great. Okay. I wanted to also make space to talk about Giveth Pro. I put all those tweets out, Mitch, for the user research, and got lots of feedback on there. I think you're keeping an eye on it, right? And
Yeah, it looks good. Go ahead.
good. And for FYI for everybody, we're adding it, like we're hoping to launch Giveth Pro with quadratic funding if we possibly could.
Yeah, I think the important bits for Mo is that removing it from this whole single project page thing. So like, single project page can be its own thing and isn't dependent on this Giveth Pro staking, whatever. So, and then adding it to the QF instead, because based on the user research that we were doing, it was like people weren't very interested in paying for the project page upgrades, but like the highest rated answer was quadratic funding. And the second one was launching NFT collections for projects. And the other interesting thing for the user research was that we could ask users to deposit anywhere from $100 to $150 worth of Give tokens to make their project quadratic funding eligible.
If I remember right, the more votes were for 150, and even I wonder if they would have paid 200 or 300. I mean, not paid, just staked.
I thought it was pretty close between 150 and 100, but maybe I looked at it before the poll ended. Maybe that was my problem.
Maybe me too. I don't know.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Mo.
Sorry, Mitch. Maybe I get it wrong, but you mentioned that removing the Giveth Pro from the single page. What do you mean by removing the Giveth Pro from the single page?
So remember we were talking a few weeks ago of saying like, okay, users needed to deposit Give tokens and then their project page would be upgraded into like this new one that you've designed. So like that discussion was happening. And after we did some research, we said, okay, maybe this isn't a feature that users are willing to deposit. So we can, I think we can say we can remove that requirement.
So basically, we are actually moving forward with the new design for the single page, both for the QF and normal project, whatever, and the only the QF is related to the Giveth Pro. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we will have to think of how, on Lauren's part, how users see that they've upgraded and how they perform the upgrade and all of that stuff in there, and downgrading as well. So, yeah.
Okay. I feel like every day I have a new, like, I have to look at the DApp and really think about how this might look. It's like every day I have a new.
I think you could take parts of like what was done, like on the single project page, like having like an upgrade button, having a status when they see their list of projects that maybe says pro somewhere. But then I don't know what quadratic funding looks like. I don't know what that is.
Is that already in the design somewhere? Like we already did some stuff for that?
Nothing was done, but I wrote it in the spec.
Oh yeah, okay, great. I can look at Mitch's spec. Okay. Great.
Another thing about Giveth Pro, if I may, I was bugging Kurt to look at it. I want to bug Amin to look at it too, but there's making those changes for, let's see if I can't find it. I've got it open somewhere here. I don't. But the changes to the contract, so having this thing where it's like Giveth Pro is like an NFT that you can like pass around, and being able to slash people's deposits if they're caught cheating basically at QF or something like that. So I took some time and I rewrote it as like a V2, and Kurt doesn't like it. Kurt wants all the projects to be on chain, and I was like, I don't know if we're gonna do that. But he didn't. Yeah, he didn't have any specific feedback.
Where is this?
This is scroll down to the bottom. So spec V2. Scroll up a little bit. Draft contract spec V2.
Okay.
Yeah. So some things like an admin and then a price controller, setting the price, letting the recipient of the slash, which would be the DAO or something like that. And then just like the functions and everything.
Right.
So this still needs to be like reviewed, basically.
Sorry to interrupt. Just circling back to the launch date. I guess the last time we were talking about the Giveth Pro, we actually decided to launch it after the QF. Because I am afraid if we actually try to do them at the same time, maybe the Giveth Pro could be a blocker for the QF then. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, we talked about this in our strategy PM call, and we're saying basically, okay, if Giveth Pro isn't ready and QF is like ready to go out the door, we can say like, okay, this is the QF alpha round. In the future, you'll have to stake for Giveth Pro. It's coming. This is the only time you won't have to stake. And so we can kind of like, we want to get it out with the MVP, but if it doesn't become possible, then that's kind of like our backup plan.
Okay.
The main thing, at some point, the final product has to have Giveth Pro in it, because you can't give it for free and then tell them that they have to pay for it later. So that's the issue.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, those are my Giveth Pro things. The design, and then someone to look at this smart contract crap. I'll keep bugging Kurt, I guess.
Okay. Okay, great. Then let's move on to talking about Chainvine. So Mo, so Mary Jaff was mentioning she was curious about the status of Chainvine, and should we go through the design changes, or I mean, like, I want to go through them, but is this like going to be useful for anybody else? Yeah, Griff is right.
I mean, we should just do it so that we can all congratulate Mo on some incredible design. It's beautiful.
All right.
It's
Let's
beautiful.
do it. Let's do it. Okay, I'm give it
I just sent the link in the chat. Oh yeah, okay. I was working with Ahmed to actually optimize a bit of the copy that we had. Also, I created the new type of model, the new state of the model for sharing when the wallet is not actually connected. It's not done yet, but I'm still working on this state. But the rest, I guess it's almost okay. Also, if you go to my account on the right side, go again a bit more. Yeah, here. Basically, you can see everything related to the referral, the reward, the users, earned, and the link to share the referral again, and also on the right side, I created a new kind of landing page for SEO purpose and marketing, so we can actually present the referral program for the Giveth in this landing page.
I love it. And also we have it here too in the bottom corner on the projects page. So you can actually share like the full page, or you can share like also just the individual projects page. It's like you could share just this project. So it's like really
Yeah.
optimized.
And I love that little pop-up in the projects page. I think that's amazing that it's just always there, you know? That
Basically,
one.
that pop-up is, I mean, the idea behind this pop-up is, we can basically add it to any page that we want. So whenever a user tap to expand the pop-up, then they can actually share the link to that specific page with their friends or whatever. I mean,
I think that's amazing. I think it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, cool. Thank you, Mo. And yeah, I saw you were tagging me on there, and I want to go and like make some copy suggestions or like minor things. I was getting ChatGPT to help me, like how can we say better than like refer and share or whatever. I'm working on it. Okay, cool. So then can we move on to other things, or does anyone have anything else for Chainvine? Okay, great. Okay, let's see. I've got also, okay, the last things here, I have like instant boost on here because like Griff wanted to kind of like argue, you know, that we should make it more obvious, the instant boosting. And yeah, I'm trying to think like how I can like excuse some people so they don't have to stay. Give power. I mean, we need to allocate more rewards for give power, right? Because the optimism give power isn't going to be quite ready to go out yet, and I think we only allocated enough rewards for up till May 30th, right?
Yeah.
How's it going with the are you putting any time into give power on other chains, or Mitch was working on this as well with you, right?
Yeah, Mish is working mainly on it.
Mm-hmm. So last week, Amin and I went through and modified the give power contract so it doesn't need a gardens instance essentially, you know, because give power is all related to the gardens and wrapping give and all that. So removing it so it just works with a regular unipool distributor. And then right now I'm working on building the tests for it. And so that's kind of where we're at. So I think maybe Amin can correct me, but we do the contracts modified, we make the tests, we check if the tests work, we make revisions, and then we deploy to staging essentially and update the subgraph.
I also talked with Sem about reviewing the contracts after we're done, and he said he can like basically in June, at the beginning of June.
Do you think we need review, Amin? Are the changes that big? Muted.
Mute.
Yeah, because you know we changed some stuff, especially the way that part that doesn't allow user to unstake, that they are unlocked. That part should be checked.
Definitely. I think if
Arvin Raj, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, Arvin Raj. If not, let's wait for him. And
No,
what's the beginning of June? 1st of the June or 10th of the June?
let me check what he said again in our DM. I think he said like, you know, I asked him last week. I'm pretty sure he said like in about 2 weeks. So June. Yeah. He just said June. I'll be away from the keyboard until June, but it looks like something that can be done reasonably quick. So I think like next week is June. We can ask him then.
You know, I'm off next week for most of it. So yeah, we can wait.
Yeah, let's get Sim. We can get Sim to review, or we can even do it after you get back, like the first week of June, so that he can ask questions and back and forth with you guys. I think that with this optimism give power, I think we don't have a lot of time pressure on it. So let's do it then. Okay. So okay, great. So then the last things I want to talk about is basically kind of like talking about how we could improve the instant boosting design, and then talking about a bunch of like non-dev related things for QF. Is there any other dev related stuff though that we should talk about in this call? Like I'm thinking, yeah, like I don't know, like Cherik, Mohammed, do you guys have anything else you need? Because if not, then I think you can probably go. No? Good. Okay, if you don't want to talk about how we could possibly improve the instant boosting design or passport civil protection concepts for quadratic funding, then you can go.
Just there's a point that we had configured the instance boosting to be updated every 2 minutes, both on staging and production. And it had eaten up all our database capacity. We made it was a mistake. It should be every 5 minutes. By the way, it's right now it's on 5 minutes. The usage is not 100%, but it has increased. The the database per the capacity. So I hope that will be fine. That will work fine with it. Just want to be sure that in case something bad happen, maybe we can make it longer, or should find a way to optimize it. Let's continue with 5 minutes so far, but in the future we should find a way to make it more smart. Maybe only do the refresh after and if any change happens, not every time, every 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but how will we know? Like, how will we know that? Like, how will we know when we need to like revisit this? Is it like just if like something breaks because we're overloading our data?
No, we can keep track of whenever we fetch any new balance change, or in case we any balance is changed, or any boosting has been changed. Since last refresh. Only refresh if that happens.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Should I create an issue for that, and then we can just like put in the product backlog and get to it when we have time, or what do you think?
Yeah, please create one, because if there was an error, the backend was not responsive. Actually, the database was not responsive because of lots of load on it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, I mean. Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey Mo, stay though. I want your opinion on the instant boost. But otherwise, if you're like, I don't need to talk about this, you can go. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so for instant boosting, I mean, Griff was basically saying that like he doesn't think it's obvious enough, like after the user boosts the project. He liked the timer thing here. I don't like the timer thing because I feel like, okay, yeah. I mean, I think it's gonna be hard to make the timer exact. And Griff is like, let's do an arbitrary 5-minute timer every time somebody does a boost that counts down but it's like counting down to a page that's happening on the project single page or on the project's page, which to me is like very confusing. You have a timer counting down here and the thing that's happening is on a different page. But also if you could go to the other page and the projects could have been resorted and then you go back to the project single page and the timer's still counting down. And to me, this is like very confusing. But he's basically saying that like we need to make it more obvious to people that like when to expect the impact to occur.
Yeah, specifically, I think the timer is really engaging. I think it's really entertaining. As a user, when I boost and I see a timer, ooh, in 5 minutes, this thing's gonna take off. Oh, baby, you know? Like, it's like almost like a countdown for a rocket to explode, which is what boost is supposed to be, right? And so I see that timer and I'm like, yeah, 5 minutes to lift off. And I think it's really fun. And I don't give a fuck that it's not real, because I think it's really fun. And it's the same with QF. You know, at the beginning of the QF round, you're like, oh my God, my $1 is matched by $200, but it's just not true. That's just like the beginning of the round. But it is kind of true, you know, but it's very entertaining. And I really like the entertaining part. And I think it's a very rare edge case that someone will go watch the timer, see the timer, and then be like, oh, I'm going to go to the project page. And maybe they'll notice that the project got boosted and then go back to the project and see the timer is still there. I think it's very unlikely. I think it's a very small edge case. And if someone ever makes if any user, what the odds that a user would make an issue about that are like minuscule. So when I balance the entertainment value versus the like edge case of it not being accurate, I'm like, you know, I'll take it.
To be honest, actually, I think that makes sense. Almost, also not making sense. I mean, it's not a bad idea just to make it obvious for user. I mean, just adding the time, the countdown. I was just thinking, maybe there is some better ways. Maybe we can handle that through the notifications, or because right now I'm thinking about how it will look like on the new design as well as the old design, and maybe sending a notification make more sense. I mean, we can be almost sure that the user actually notified the boost is actually did its job. I mean, instead of having a countdown,
Yeah, I think a notification would be nice. Like, no.
As a user of this feature, I will not look at your notification, nor will I read your text. I will not. I refuse. I will see a pop-up underneath the boost button though. And it doesn't have to be a timer. It can just be a little box. It doesn't have to be the timer. I like the timer. I think the timer is fun. But there needs to be something under this boost. There needs to be something, a colored box that says something. I will not be clicking through to see this. I need to see it. I need to see that it happened, you know?
okay. Okay, let me think about it a bit. I try to do something that could actually make you happy, Griff.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I'm just not as organized as you people. I don't clear my notifications, nor do I read, you know?
Neither do I on Giveth. There's too many.
So if we're not going to see that the boost is happening, you know, that like, yeah, it's not instant boost.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'll leave it in Mo's capable thoughts. And I sent you the issue, Mo. I want to talk about also because a lot of like people didn't come to, well, Monique and Griff, you guys were, and Mitch, you weren't in the QF call, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the QF business model and also just like some clarifications around passport and stuff. So yeah, unless anybody has anything else we need to talk about in this call, that's how I want to spend the rest of our time. Cool. If that doesn't interest you, you can leave. I'm all for like trying to give people their time back these days. Great. So let's first talk about the passport thing. So Griff and I had a meeting with Disruption Joe, and he was basically saying like Gitcoin passport is like doesn't really do a lot for Sybil protection, except like at a very base minimum. So, and I talked about it also with like the devs in the QF call. I think what we'll do is make it that you need passport to donate, but we'll have a very minimal score as like the threshold. So passport is mandatory, but you need like only a score of 5. Does that sound reasonable? Yeah, good. Okay, cool. Because that gets rid of apparently like your most basic Sybil attackers. The other thing, just like FYI, is I'm going to follow up with Joe, who's reaching out to this Trusta Labs community that might be able to do the Sybil protection stuff for us for like a percentage of our matching pool or something like that. So he's talking with them like later this week. I already followed up on Monday, but I'm going to reach out again. And those are just like update things, but then so let's talk about this like business model thing. So it's like, Griff, this was your idea to create like the criteria as to like why. Oh yeah, Giant King, you can set the lowest passport score. It was 15 for Gitcoin beta round. But like in the alpha round it was 25. In our round we can make it 5 or something like that. Like your minimum eligibility requirement score is something we can set. Yeah, cool. Passport or QF business model. Why is QF going to be beneficial for Giveth? And the other thing is that Disruption Joe mentioned is that they did some user research, and apparently users thought taking about 15% of the matching pool was an acceptable thing to do. So I think like that's something that maybe we can do. Like Mitch was also commenting here that like Giveth taking a percentage of the matching pool to set it aside. And setting it aside is probably a good idea. I do really like this. But there are some other ideas here, like, do we keep the donate 5% to Giveth? Should we add donate 5% to the matching pool? Should Giveth be included in the rounds at all? Yeah, Giveth Pro we already decided on, and yeah, I don't know. Griff, what do you think? What do you want out of this business model discussion? Like, what do I really need to get here?
A spreadsheet with like that we can use to simulate QF and show like, okay, if we have this much matching pool and this many donations, you know, then like we are making this much money, and here are the different parameters that we would set to make money with QF, right? And then we kind of do a business sense and do some business thinking of like, okay, if we're spending all of this money and time and effort on QF, what makes sense for us to take a cut out of these matching pools? How much do we estimate? You know, if we get $1 million worth of matching pools, will we have made a profit? You know, it's like, oh shit, no, we won't. Oh no, we need a higher percentage, you know? Okay, and what if we assume like I'm really curious what our current stats are for how many donors are donating the 5% to Giveth, you know, and like if we can get some average usage on that and understand how much money we're making, then okay, so if QF brings in this many donations and X percentage are donating, you know, the 5 or 10% to Giveth once in a while, we'll also make that much money, you know, and try to make the business case for QF. And then we can use that for fundraising as well. We can use that for other things.
Okay. I don't really know what information I need to include in the spreadsheet though. Like, it's like, okay, matching pool amounts, different percentages that we could like take off what, you know, like we were talking about, oh, maybe we could use those funds to be buying Give or sending it to Giveth. It's like, I don't know how I'm supposed to simulate all these things in a spreadsheet when it's like.
I think it's to use the spreadsheet to determine those things, right? So it's like build the spreadsheet so that we can figure out, okay, how much are we going to pay out to Sybil protection? If it's 5%, then it's this much. And if Giveth is taking 10%, oh, okay, no, Sybil protection needs 10%. So we only get 5%. Does that still make sense for us? You know, like, yeah, and then just understanding where the other value flows are coming from in this in this feature, and making sure that we can set them right in the first place, so that, like, you know, it's achievable. We have an achievable goal.
All right. Okay.
And I'm happy to hack on it with you, maybe sometime.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I can start something. I'm like, yeah, I'll like run around a little bit, but I don't really know how I'm gonna do a good job of this, but I'll try to put something together and then maybe we can work on it together. Okay, then the last thing I wanted to talk about was basically this like Octant thing, which is kind of like the fundraising thing, and I just wanted to like fill everybody in on like where this is and like get some feedback from you guys. So like, yeah, they're gonna give NFTs, like there's a couple of things. Basically, Octant is that like, okay, they have like basically like $1 million of ETH that they're going to allow people to vote to distribute to one of 10 public goods projects, including Giveth. They are basically these: Gitcoin, Protocol Guild, Super Modular, Ethereum Cat Herders, Bankless, Writers Guild, Kernel, DAO Drops, Drips, CLR Fund, and Giveth. And like, you know, I was a little bit confused at first because I was like, wait, didn't you want to like send these as like matching funds that we would be distributing like to other public goods projects? Or are they like actually just like giving some of these funds like to fund those organizations? So anyway, I have been leaving comments in this doc and like asking questions about that. Like that's my question. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna give aligned community members NFTs who can then like, and also they were like, okay, anybody can mint an NFT and become a voter in this thing, and they're gonna do like weighted voting on Snapshot. I think anybody can mint an NFT is like kind of a bad idea, because it's like, you know, it just like you could just like set up bots to mint NFTs and then like vote. You know, there's no control, and so I'm trying to like encourage them to put some kind of protection in place to make sure that you're not just like opening the floodgates of like chaotic voting that like may or may not mean anything. But yeah, so like if like I would love to know if you guys like have any feedback on like maybe what I could suggest to them is like, why don't you distribute NFTs in this way or something like that, like to this list of address. I said like look at like how DAO Drops did it and like what eligibility they were looking for, and then like, you know, maybe like grab addresses from like other, you know, organizations like lists instead of doing it, and then do like an airdrop of the NFTs. But yeah, and then they like wanted just like some help kind of like promoting it and doing like Twitter spaces to try to like, I guess like cat herd people to like participate in this voting. But it kind of seems like a little bit of like chaos, but it's like kind of a lot of funding that they could be distributing to these projects. And what I want at this point is like to try to like help mold it into an idea that's like effective and fair. And so I just wanted to fill you in on like what they're thinking about and what I'm thinking about, and then just get like some feedback. Like, what do you guys think about like how NFTs should be distributed, and like maybe if I should push them on anything else? Because it seems like just mostly like this guy, VP Abundance.eth, James Kiernan, he is kind of championing this cause seemingly single-handedly and like open to a lot of feedback and like ideas forming here and there. So yeah.
What does this have to do with the Give Economy? Or is this a fundraising thing?
It is for the matching pool, for like, it's like they reached out to us because they were like, hey, we could, you know, fund your matching pool with this ETH we have. And so I'm like trying to figure out how we can start raising funds. Yeah, so it's like a fundraising thing. Anyway, like if you, I have said many times, if you don't want to talk about this, leave the call. This is all we have left.
Got it.
This is Lauren's call. This is not.
Well, we covered all the other things. Nobody said they had anything else. So
Got it.
I've
Why
been
don't you
trying to talk about this in the QF call yesterday, but like nobody who we had like just developers who only want to talk about development stuff, you know, which is great. So we ended early.
Okay. Cool. So they have like $1 million. They want to split it between all these communities, and
$1
that could
million.
be funding our.
And $1 million worth of ETH? I don't.
Yeah.
It can't be that much. That's $2
Well,
billion.
It said no, $1
$1
million
million worth of ETH.
ETH.
Okay, $1 million worth of ETH. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
He
$1 million
should
worth
pick
of ETH doesn't mean $1 million ETH, Griff.
I guess. Unless you're. How much is it in Canadian dollars?
Yes. So the one thing I can see here is they would need some way to define their eligible voters. So that's the big thing. It's like, who do they want? There needs to be some sort of thought process into like who their eligible voters are.
Totally. And I've been trying to like, he's like, anyone can mint and become an eligible voter. And I'm like, I think that's a bad idea. And he's like, really try to game the system. And I'm like, any of the projects, like I would try to game the system, you know? I would get a meme to build a bot so that we could mint all the NFTs, you know? Because it's like, you know, it's like a lot of money, 10 projects. I mean, they could just give 100K to each of the projects and that would be fine. But if they want to do like some kind of fair voting, they have to make like a fair voting distribution system. But so what I told them was to look at like how DAO drops distributed tokens, but I would love if you guys, I mean, if either of you have like any ideas of how to like what I should tell them or like be like, actually, no, do it like this, or any red flags. If you don't have anything, I can just continue to like argue with him with my own ideas.
Yeah, DAO drops is something funny. It's like you needed to have deployed a smart contract or something to be like an eligible voter, or have like a GitHub history.
Be part of a lot of DAOs. There were a bunch of different factors that they applied.
Yeah. But anyway, what they're gonna do is like one NFT, like one vote, like any vote. It's like you don't have more voting if you're like DAO drops gave you an amount of drops, and you got more if you were more involved. Here, everybody who's eligible will just get like the same amount of voting power that they can distribute among projects. So, but like I think like just having a list of eligible people is better than just opening the doors of chaos.
Yeah. I mean, I think he could grab from various lists, right? Like probably early Gitcoin users, like, you know, early Gitcoin users. He could do the DAO drops list. He could grab Optimism token, whatever. Citizens House.
NFT, whatever.
What?
Yeah.
Optimism.
There's like an Optimism citizen attestation NFT, whatever.
Yeah, the attestations.
Yeah. Gitcoin probably has a list of like all the donors that they've had in like rounds 1 to 15 or something.
I think the challenge is that he has other needs that he wants to accomplish, like marketing to new audience so that they want to buy GLM tokens, you know? So like I think that he probably cares, here's my assumption, is that he probably cares less about it being a fair vote and more about some other metrics, about it being like getting some marketing, getting some people involved, and making it you know, doing major outreach so that Golem becomes a name someone from you know, that's been in crypto since 2020 even has heard of. Like I mean, I only know Golem because they proposed to the DAO back in the day, you know? So like they haven't been around. I'm sure that this is a marketing stunt more than anything.
Okay.
So we have to understand all of his requirements, even the ones that aren't stated, and then we can help him. But if he has unstated requirements, what are we going to do?
Okay, yeah, sounds good. All right, well, and I won't spend and take up any more of your guys' time on this. Like, I can give everybody 5 minutes back and just kind of like, yeah, try to get to the bottom of like what his needs are a little more and like work through it and maybe just like bug you async.
Yeah, and if he wants to schedule a call with me or Mitch, and I'm sure we'd both help him out, give him good advice.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got for this call. So if there's no objections or last minute things that you want to wax philosophically on, I think we can close. Great. Okay. Everyone enjoy 6 minutes back of your lives.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks, everyone.